The lights that you guys brought are actually strong enough to put some power on the panel. So when I bring it up, you can actually see that there's the power going through the panels being produced by the lights that you guys have.
Having integrated solar within the homes is the path forward. It's going to have to be. You can put wind power up, but those generally are large windmill stations, and there is issues out there with proximity to people. You can put large solar fields up. There is land issues, and that's what's led to our development of our panel. It's a two-in-one product. It's siding and a solar panel. So we're just on that cusp of securing our first customers, lining up jobs this summer to install our product. Yeah, and we're transitioning from a research phase to a production phase. Unlike a rooftop where you're kind of forced to do the whole roof or nothing, for siding, generally speaking, homes have a combination of different materials on the sides of home. Some brick, some other materials, some siding parts. And so for our typical home, as long as the wall is facing at a southerly location, you only need about 300 square feet to actually meet net zero, which mathematically, I think that works out to about 75 or 80 panels. And then you put brick or you put some other material around it to create an aesthetically pleasing installation. And affordability issues. We wanted to solve the affordability issue as well. And again, our product being more sustainable, less expensive than a lot of other products in the market. The cost per watt is actually lower than many competitive installations of just regular solar panels.
So I'll be running through how we make our PCBs and then attach them to our backing material. So first, we have our PCB and then our diodes. And first off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the solder paste, which is kind of like the electronic glue between the two components, and then just apply it to the pads. So after the solder paste is actually applied to the pads, I'm going to take the diodes and place them on the pads. So after the diodes are placed on the pads, we're going to use the heat guns to melt the solder and make the connection. So after the heating is done, you can see that the solder paste has melted and joined from the diode to the actual pad to make a nice silver connection. After that, I verify that the voltage and power can actually go through it. Then I'm going to solder some wires on it to connect from the solar cells and to the panel. So after soldering the wires, this is what the final product would look like. And then from there, this will be installed into the backing material. So from here, kind of just feed the wire through the pre-drilled holes. Like in a big factory, this would have been done like not one at a time, a big batch. We're not at that scale yet, so we're still doing it by hand, but at some point soon we'll be there. And this is the final backing product.
So once we have the panels all created and ready to go, the next step into the story is to get people to figure out about the product and understand how it's going to work on their building. So something we do is create different sort of renders of people's homes. You can kind of see how the product is going to fit into your home, things like that. We can do different building styles. It can work around brick or different facades, around windows, everything like that. And the whole point is to get the story out to people, and so people can understand how you can get off the rooftops and go into the walls and still get the energy that your home needs to get to net zero, get more energy efficient. Once we get the walls open, we could also work into better insulation, energy savings, and everything like that.
I am a bit of an environmentalist. Both my wife and I we like to be efficient in our lifestyle. We don't like excess. It seems to make more sense to live within your means as opposed to just wasting things. And it just seems like me having grandchildren, looking at my children entering the housing market and a few factors like that, you kind of don't want to leave them a world that's too out of shape. you want to do what you can to make a positive impact, you know? And I just thought, well, here's a technology that I can develop and maybe make that positive impact.